I posted a video called What Players Said About AQ3D Dying, and I've gotten some comments on it that I wanted to address. If Clarion continues with this attitude, more players will only leave embarrassment about inviting a friend to play AQ3D. The higher-ups are responsible, not Clarion himself. Blame his boss, not Clarion. I'm a little confused by this comment. It's definitely Jurgen. Clarion is a pixel artist on the team, not the game director. So Jurgen is on the team, but he is a map designer and as well as doing other stuff as well. He's not the game lead. Clarion is the game lead, and yes, he does do pixel stuff, but not when it comes to AQ3D. When it comes to AQ3D, he's building quests and handling a bunch of other stuff. Clarion's work is valued. It ranges from cosmetic additions to interface art and even contributions to the pixel art systems like Dungeons and Doom Knights. He did actually help with Dungeons and Doom Knights. I don't think he has anything to do with the interface art. I'm pretty sure that's Sharfade who does all that sort of stuff, and the cosmetic additions is added by the artists, but I'm sure Clarion would have a hand on adding stats and adding, things like that. I play more than I'll admit, but the game's not dying. There's an influx of new players every day, literally every day. Even games like Thrones and Liberty has quiet spots where there seems to be no one around. This is normal. In my humble opinion, I don't see AQ3D dying, and I'll repeat myself, even if it did, I'll continue to walk the lands of lore. The fact that the topic of is AQ3D dead being brought up so often tells us what we need to know about the game's state. Very sad. I always loved this game, but getting statues and little fluffy pets every week is just boring. Personally been on a pause since April or so until we get something new worth my time. They need to have a replay story mode. Have us get the opportunity to replay sagas and quests. I personally think that will have us entertained rather than dealing with BS weekly fillers. And actually, I would love this idea, having an option to reset your quest or at least be able to replay through them. I'd love that. I've been playing AdventureQuest ever since I was a little kid. I've honestly bought all of the plushies and a lot of posters. This game has been a part of my life for a long time. I can never give it up. I agree with the notion that AQ3D isn't dying, but it's on life support. I don't really understand the idea of making a new intro to the game, bringing a lot of new people, and I've always despised these statue drops updates that they've just been doing to fill in the weekly update quota. If AE really wants to get new players or older players to return, they need to do satisfying events, do in-game concerts again, or collab with a VTuber. At this point in the game's life cycle, I really worry because I feel like they're just making bad decisions on top of bad decisions, and at some point, people will just stop caring about the game altogether. The updates are bland. Is AQ3D dead? No, but it is on life support. I said this ages ago with the Nolgath update. The devs forget they were in the entertainment business. No one has fun mindlessly repeating the same non-challenging grinds that takes as long to finish as working a full-time job, especially when most of the players are adults with full-time jobs. It's work, not entertainment. The entertainment business should produce entertaining things. I'm hopeful that the new intro and getting back into the main story will go well, but if they stay with the same philosophy, it's just a lame grind of 50 hours. They have to go back to producing entertainment and get off the idiotic MLG pro gaming mentality that thinks it's good to be bored working a game as a second job for bragging rights against other players that actually have a life. Now it's funny because this statement is actually how I feel about grinding certain content in AQ3D and AQ World. There's a reason why people bought in AQ World. It basically becomes essential because the game is literally designed with botters in mind, and in AQ3D it really seems to be going the same direction, which is scary. Hopefully the new intro is going to revert away from catering to botters and actually cater to real people. It's dead to me. If someone still finds it fun, then good for them. I miss having fun and hoping for new updates. However, the game is just a cosmetic farmer, and I couldn't care less about new capes or stuff like that. New classes are reskins, no new meaningful story nor gear. But hey, you can make a new character. Yay! Experience the whole unbalanced game all over again. I don't know. I'm just tired. Hope someday I can actually go to a map and be excited with the farm and the grind like I was with Nolgath. I've seen several people putting the blame on Clarion, thinking he's the reason why the game is dropping. And this is definitely not true, and I can explain. There were a bunch of devs who were let go of AQ3D, and this is why the game is stagnant. With such an extremely tiny team, the fact that we are getting anything on a weekly basis is mind-blowing. I've also seen it stated multiple times that there is no reason to have another intro and so on and so forth. While I would agree with that, this intro is supposed to be a kickoff for basically AQ3D remastered. At least when it comes to the story flow, not to mention every weekly update we get after the intro will pertain somehow to the main saga. They're fleshing out the lore, not just building an intro. Like, this is going to be the launching pad for something. So until that intro is actually in the live game, we are just going to be basically getting filler content while the small team works on finishing up this. I really miss Blaze, Artix, and Dej, etc. It was so fun to play with them, and the content and the adventures, or the events, at that time was incredible. The last map I enjoyed was Sandsea. I loved the boss mechanics, the difficulties. Nolgath was so boring, and the red color hurts my eyes. I dropped the game for about 2 years, and when I came back, there was nothing new. That Clarion guy is breaking the game. Again, it's not Clarion. He put the Azercrest map. That was so easy and boring. What? That was like one of the best updates we'd gotten this year. I already have everything on the game, and to be honest, the troubles and the statues are not attractive enough to be farming for hours. I just came back from my friends, but I'm thinking about quitting again. I just came back a couple years ago. I still love it. I just found out that there's a MechQuest content in it. That's incredibly cool. So I asked where the MechQuest stuff was, which he responded is on the moon, the Star Citizen spacesuit, and then you fight the Xenoscythe, which I had no idea those were actually connected to MechQuest. And then, of course, you've got the Halo reference with the Explorer 117 set, which I have, and it is awesome. Apparently, if you pair it with a Dreadite shotgun, it doubles as a Doom Guy costume. My 1,600 hour experience. Funny as it sounds, what made me quit was the Void Divers little event thing. It made me realize that AE cares a lot about making parodies of popular trending games with a rather similar name to attract attention. The only thing you'll have to do is kill 100,000 monsters to get a stupid title, aka nothing of real value. I can see why people may enjoy AQ3D as I used to, and I still very much hope for the best, but it seems like fashion reskins and repetitive quest lines and updates is the only thing this game has left to offer, with no real intention of developing the main storyline and adding gameplay loops based on that, like raids. Something else that really pulls me off is how long it takes for things to be implemented into the game, which is true. It does take a long time. It takes years for AQ3D to have features that other MMOs had at launch. There are many updates and other things that I've missed by now, but I absolutely have no desire to play them. AQ3D has a nice community, and that is what makes the game seem alive. But recently, it feels like a pure cash grab. The game surely isn't dead, but I wouldn't say it feels alive. Suggestions for game improvements. Introduce a stat system. Implementing a stat allocation system would enable players to create more diverse, personalized builds. Add grindable world bosses. I hate world bosses. Anything that takes longer than like 15 seconds to respawn, I don't want to waste my time. Introduce world bosses that can be repeatedly farmed and drop rare material used for upgrading weapons and armor. That would be cool, actually. Enhance class level progression. Make class leveling more meaningful by unlocking perks like passive abilities or skill enhancements as class levels increase. Create designated player killing areas. Ooh, cool. Add specific zones where PvP is allowed to cater to competitive players. You know, they did do that in the Ninja versus Pirate thing. So, I mean, the possibility of having a PvP zone for things like that, it definitely works. Implement a daily bounty system. Introduce daily quests that tasks players with hunting specific bosses or monster types in exchange for valuable rewards. That is awesome. I love that idea. Add a new unlockable class. Introduce a special class you can only be accessed after reaching certain levels in multiple existing classes. If they they want to revive AQ3D, all they have to do is make it fun to play. When Clarion said he wanted to revamp the classes to make it more fun to play, I thought it was a step in the right direction. However, pleasant class skills is not enough when combat isn't engaging in the first place. There's a lot more parameters to take into account, quests, an immersive storyline, etc. But mindless, endless farming definitely is not fun. I can't consider adding gazillions of statues and troubles a real incentive for me to log back in. AQ3D brought me some good memories, I'll give it that. Maybe, I say maybe, if something drastically changes with the game, I might check it out. But for now, the game is either dead to me or stuck in some sort of cryo status. Thanks for keeping us updated with the game, GR. I still want to follow this messed up story. That's why I made a Twitter account back in the days and I subscribed to your channel. I can't say I'm happy with AQ3D and I criticize it, trying to point out what could be improved to make it better, because I still kind of care about the game. I'd be really happy if they made AQ3D really enjoyable. AQ3D used to be my chill game. Logged in, played a while, had my fair share of fun, then logged out without having to care about a fully FOMO inducing daily activity. That's what I liked about it. I even had a class concept with illustrations I wanted to share with AE but never published it. Not because I feel like they wouldn't care, but because I feel like it's pointless with the current state of the game. When someone asked Clarion about new classes, he replied, "We don't have the tools," whatever that means. And actually, yeah, he's right. So they will have to build tools in order to create the classes, because the class designer, Blaze, is no longer there. He had all kinds of nightmare problems building classes. So definitely having a tool would make it so much easier. And that is something that AQ World Infinity is learning now. They're making all kinds of tools to make it so much easier. I'll be frank with you all. From someone who played the game for a month, me and my friend are playing the game to get some things done. We are getting bored as of now. I am glad to play the game, but it starts to become boring and repetitive. I'm not even level 50 as I'm writing this comment. The game was fun in the beginning. The quests, the jokes, the casual approach to the story. See, so many people mention the humorous side of AQ3D. I think that's something that's kind of falling away, is the joke side of it, which I definitely want to see more dad joke type stuff in there. I still have a few quests to do in the game, many side stories I forgot about earlier, but after that I'll probably just log in, do dailies, chat with friends, and leave. I think it's actually all I can say about the game. It was nice, but as long as the story is not progressing, the game becomes boring, and the drop rates of some items are so low, I was literally crunching on my keycaps. Other issues I found: the game heats my device like crazy. When the game's on, it's on par with an Android Studio where you can fry an egg if you try. Just kidding, don't try this at home. I really liked the first concert and the Ashfall boss, but I stopped playing now. I'm about to get Master of Moglins for AQ World, so I'm going to make a new account for AQ3D. Hope it's still going to be a fun game, and hope they're going to make new maps. I play AQ3D every day. I enjoy it. There's a wonderful world, cool characters, and a great range of gear. But as a player almost at max level, it has become extremely obvious that I care more about the game than Artix does. You can do so much with this game to make it better. More PvP modes and a leaderboard. More stories with animated cutscenes. Improving combat. Maybe update some of the graphics so you don't have textures that are like 100 pixel resolution stretched over a whole sky. But we don't get that. It's just new cosmetics to spend money on or grind for days to get. The passion and artistry behind the previous AE games that got us into this franchise is no longer here. I just got back into the game and I think it looks way better. And yeah, graphically it is getting so nice. I very often hang out around the starting area and I always see new players. So I don't know what people are talking about. What I've noticed though is there is a very high turnaround with the new players. They're not staying past a few levels. Why is that? I have no idea. That is interesting. I'm not sure why there is such a high turnover with the new players, but maybe the new intro will solve that issue. AQ3D never die. This game is forever. Actually, the old players say that the game is dead, but no. Very surprised that majority of what used to be called the PvP community is gone. I mean, look at the comments you read in the video. They're literally all game related in a different way. What off-puts me about the game, the amount of hatred PvP receives. No updates to PvP directly. This marks the second or third year of promises of releasing Cleanse, and it is still on the PTR. Look at all the content creators who got awarded. Literally none of them are PvP related. I have literally spent years playing on PvP, raising my stats just to end up for them to just be forgotten or unacknowledged. How very sad. Kuna the Ninja is a content creator for AQ3D PvP. Now, it's not that I hate housing, but recently that feels like that's all we've got, which is kind of true, really. Where are the new tools that they've been talking about for building maps, quests, changing skills being built? Unfortunately, they think people are not aware of those things, and they dabble around on a statue farm, adding the RNG aspect to it just to make it unbearable. Music is the only reason I'm in since 2019. Oh, that's cool. I hope Jungar reads that. PvP missing, PvP zones, guild disputes, etc. That would actually be cool. Guild wars and PvP zones. So obviously there are some people who would like to see some PvP updates. It's a small player base, but it's not dead. The game isn't dying, it's the bored veterans who say so, since they have no more quests to do, but they are wrong. There's so much to do. There's many new players that I've seen in Camp Gonna Getcha, like in Pointless, but since they're new, they don't know what to do, and there are many who don't help them, and that's precisely why they abandon the game, because they don't know what to do in the events or in their quests. New players need to be helped to make a good experience in the game. I've been playing the game for 3 years, and I still have a lot to do. Don't be fooled by the comments of those who get bored quickly. Play, participate in events, help newcomers, and you'll see that there's still a lot to do in AQ3D. This actually gives me an idea to make some kind of ambassador role in my Discord that maybe would promote people to help new players or something. I don't know. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you made it this far into the video, post a secret word, MOM, into the comments. Thanks for watching, and keep those swords swinging.